What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. This video is part 2 of getting our VersaTube carport built to protect all of the equipment out here at Rhino Ranch, like my tractor, like my excavator, and my trailer back there behind me. We're gonna see, y'all, how easy one of these online carport things is to put together. But first, we're working on getting the foundation. So if you watch video 1, we pretty much got the pad all nice and graded out. I mean, partially graded out. We still got a lot of grading to do, but it's enough just to get started and get the concrete in. Just a quick recap for you guys. The land slopes this way and it slopes this way. So back where Abel is right there, we're actually gonna be 6 to 8 inches below ground, which by the time we get over there, we're above ground. We're basically trying to fudge this to make like the least drastic impact grading wise, but it's still a ton of dirt we had to bring in. So you can see all of these painted marks. These are where the footings are gonna be for the sides of the carport. Basically the way the carport works, we'll go show you guys in a second an actual graphic drawing, but only these two sides hold up the carport. That back section right there though, we need to put in a little curb because as you can see, we are below grade. And we don't want water, dirt, or anything washing into the carport. So we're gonna build a curb on that backside to retain the water and retain the dirt. If we were on level ground, we would not need to do that at all. We've got the Harbor Freight Predator generator. I would dig these with the excavator, but I only have a 16-inch bucket. These don't need to be that big. So Abel and Chava are just coming in by hand with a roto hammer, just chipping them out. Now you guys know me and you know we overbuild everything, and it's for good reason. I've been in/around construction pretty much my whole life. I've seen the way things are built and I have my own opinions on how things can be built better. So anything that I build for myself, I go above and beyond because I want it to last forever. Well, with these carports, there's not a whole lot to them. They email you this instruction kit that we went and printed out. And basically, if you're looking at the foundation of this thing, I'll show you guys kind of what they're looking for. So all they want is just a little hole underneath wherever the anchor points are. And we don't know where the anchor points are on ours because, well, they don't give you a full set of plans for your specific building. They give you these generic set, and I think for like 1,200 bucks, they'll give you an actual set of plans, which that's ridiculous and we're not paying that. So we don't even actually have like the exact dimensions that what we're doing should be at, which should be standard in this kit, and it's not. So VersaTube, do better. So I gave us a little drawing right here to show basically what they want is there's gonna be little anchors on the bottom rail of the carport that goes into the concrete. And their kind of bare minimum that they're asking for is you dig these little piers underneath each spot that has an anchor point. And again, we don't really know where that is unless we assemble those rails, which I'm gonna unbox in a second. This is kind of what we're planning on doing. So this is similar to how you would do a garage, a standard garage. It has like a 6-inch concrete stem wall that comes up out of the ground. This is the footing that would end up being below ground. However, as you guys can see, that is a lot of concrete and we really want that footing to be down into native. So we've got about 2 feet of fill on one side there, 3 feet of fill on the other, which means we want to get below the fill into the actual undisturbed native dirt to really anchor the footings in. And the deeper we go, the more concrete we're putting in. And as much as I love overbuilding things, concrete out here is very expensive. To get a truck out here, I mean, one full truck, you're looking at almost $3,000 nowadays. That's a lot of money. So instead, we're gonna bring out pallets of concrete. We've got the concrete mixer, we're gonna mix them by hand, well, in the mixer, but we can only do so much of that, right? We're not gonna be mixing 9 yards of concrete in the concrete mixer in the heat and hope that we're actually gonna be successfully pouring something. So I'm trying to minimize our concrete impact. We still wanna keep this stem wall because again, that makes it more garage-like and it gives the carport something nice to sit on, but we need a good footing to anchor this. But what I'm thinking is we do the stem wall the entire length, and then once we figure out where these anchor points are, that's the only spot that we actually deepen. Instead of doing one giant footing all the way along this thing, because again, that's like meant to hold up an entire real garage, not a chintzy little carport. We can minimize a lot of concrete if we figure that out. So first things first, let's crack into this pallet that I probably should have opened a long time ago just in case we're missing anything. Hopefully it's not too loud with the jackhammers behind me. The mic should just be pointed right at me. If you enjoyed erector sets as a kid, I feel like you're gonna enjoy this. This looks like fun. Now, I don't know if this is true, but just by looking at it, it almost looks like they package it in the way that you're gonna use it. Which, if that's what they did, props to them, because that makes life so much easier. Typically, when you order things, what you need to start with first is at the bottom. But these look like the actual bottom rails. And then as we work our way up, you get to these side walls. I'm assuming these sections right here are part of the roof. And then these little tiny boogers at the bottom, those are actually, I believe, would go across the roof and give the metal roofing something to sit on. So I think they packaged this in the order that you're gonna use it. That's awesome. Even going as far as putting in some wooden spacers before they banded this together. I'm thoroughly impressed with the packaging. And there is zero sponsorship at all in this video. I know y'all think I've sold my soul to the devil with all kinds of sponsorship and stuff, which I actually turned down 99.999% of them because I like to be able to tell it how it is. And if I'm sponsored, kind of hard to be honest about stuff. So like I stated, their instructions absolutely suck. However, their packaging, spot on. Pull these bottom legs out because Abel and Chava are pretty much ready for them. Hopefully they labeled all these parts. See if they laser engraved them or something, but probably not. Might just have to look at some pictures. We gotta assemble this 22 feet long. It's gonna be a lot of in-between pieces. That's an end piece. Oh, I think I found a middle piece. Maybe, no. Okay, look at this. Oh, and we got some redhead concrete anchors. Look at that. I spoke too soon. Look at this. We got a nice little thing inside of a plastic sleeve, and we got our parts list. What is this? This is for the rafters. I'm guessing this is all roof. It's got our anchoring. So again, you select the type of anchoring you want. Concrete. That's what we're anchoring into. Got all the tape for the roof. A crap ton of self-tapper screws. Now, this would be a standard 18-foot configuration. Well, we're 22 feet, so we need one more piece. And from the plans, it looks like we need one of these rails that has a vertical on just the end of it. Whereas we have this as the centerpiece, it has a vertical on the center. The end pieces have two sticking out. I don't see another piece. I mean, I haven't really dug too deep into here, but I don't see anything else that has a vertical piece coming off of it. Which, that's kind of important. I don't see where the heck that will be. Worst case scenario, I think we could figure out our whole layout from just what we got here. We're already off to a bad start. And it could just be me not finding it yet, but everything that had one of these verticals sticking out of it was in the center section because there was room to package it. These are all packaged so tight, there's clearly none that have a piece sticking off of them. Now I'm starting to wonder if the 22 depth accounts for the overhangs of the roof. I don't really see there being a 2 foot front and back overhang, but that could be the case. Or I could have just looked at the picture on the front of the box. That just might be a 2 foot overhang there, front and rear. So I guess we're not 22 on this base row, we're actually 18. With the overhang. It's good, that means less concrete. Now, since we're putting in that back curb and it's kind of already dug, the footing for it is at least, I want to leave 2 foot off our back line. So this is where we originally thought the back of the building was going to be. Whereas you saw in the last video when I pulled my tractor in, I need every bit of space we have here. So if I let the overhang go 2 feet past our curb, that's not really doing me any good and it's kind of useless at that point. I guess I could back the tractor past the curb. Maybe we should go to the curb. I don't want to screw us later. My plans are maybe to do some cool sides on this thing or figure out something pretty sweet for this. But I need a good foundation on the back wall for that. So what I was thinking before I just ran this through my head was we were going to go about 2 feet off this back line. That way the overhang goes all the way to the curb. I could back the tractor up. We'll still have a roof line over the curb. And then obviously in the front, we have a 2 foot overhang, which will go to this mark right here. And then we get our full 22 feet of roof. From what I'm learning about the Versatube is you don't get 22 feet of sidewall, you get 22 feet of roof with an 18-foot sidewall. Which again, not the end of the world. I should have opened the box before we got into this, but we'll get it figured out. Right now they're doing our little footing here for our stem wall. Just a little 1 foot by 1 foot. And then wherever a concrete anchor is gonna go, which are these holes that are punched into the tubing, that's where we're gonna put a concrete pier, or basically a bigger footing just in that section. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we have to do. Not too bad, and it saves us a lot on concrete. See if this changes in a second, but I think I'm making the executive decision to push the wall all the way up to the back of where our curb is gonna be. That way all these curbs tie in together with the stem walls. We'll let the overhang hang out 2 feet beyond that. It's only gonna be like a 6-inch curb. So like the Gannon on the tractor can go over the curb and stick out back. If I'm backing my trailer in, my trailer can back over the curb. Better to have that back curb line up with where the back wall would be versus going to the edge of the building. These are all marked out right here. They're just gonna dig a 12 by 12 by 24 foot deep pier, and then the little 12-inch by 12-inch footing for the stem wall. Now, my next concern is, what is the width of this thing? Is it actually 24 foot wide? Are we 24 foot with the roof overhangs, which, looking at the plans, I've gone to the roof page, and we've got 3 7/16 inch overhang Well, I guess it's less. That's from the roof purlin over. So from the actual edge of the building, we're probably 2 something. Is that accounted for in this? Is this building 4 inches narrower than I'm thinking? Now we're gonna put 6-inch concrete stem walls, so we'll have a little bit of room to play, but it would be good to know right now. And really the only way to find out is if we start assembling these roof trusses, which is this system right here. Well, it's actually more complicated because we have a 24-foot wide one. We also get one of these truss braces that go across with this little support right there. If you go any wider, you get this crazy system going on if you want to go 30-foot wide. But we're not there. We're sticking to this one, which to me actually looks a lot cleaner. I've been wrong a few times in this process, but we should be 9 feet from floor to that truss brace, which will clear my Coyote tractor. However, because we are putting it on stem walls, we're actually gonna be higher than that. We're probably gonna gain, depending on how we grade out the center, at least another 6 inches or more. I'm gonna try to start assembling these things, and I think it's gonna be easier on the concrete section where I keep the trucks and everything parked. So we gotta pull them out. We're gonna pull out the single cab. We just moved the 6.0. Haven't started the single cab in a while, so I'm assuming we're probably gonna have to jump start it, but we'll see. Maybe she'll fire up. I'm also contemplating selling this thing. I just don't use it. We have the mini truck now, which I used to run around the ranch. I don't really need this truck. I love this truck, but I don't need it, and it's just sitting. And I hate seeing my trucks sit. If anybody's interested, 97, 4-wheel drive, single cab, long bed. I'm gonna be taking the fuel tank out of the back. That does not come with it. Got some brand new Toyo MTs on her. She's a solid truck, and honestly, of both my OBSs, I don't want to jinx it. Let me knock on wood right here. This one has never given me any issues mechanically. This thing has just been pretty flawless. If you guys are interested, make me an offer I cannot refuse, and I'd probably let this girl go. Yeah, let's see if we have any battery. All right, we're pretty low. Hopefully the NOCO's got enough juice to do it. I'm not really sure. We tried to jump start James's water truck with that thing the other day, and it started smoking. I've never seen that happen, and it's the first time that NOCO has not been able to really start something. Come on, old girl. Probably been sitting 6 months or more. Come on, old girl, I know you got it in you. The glow plug heater really kills the NOCO. I should have charged the NOCO. All right, well, back to charging the NOCO because I don't have jumper cables out here. Gotta say, guys, that little tweaker building right there that we got has been great for storing lumber out of the sun, concrete out of the rain. Ian. So now I'm gonna run to RCP. We're gonna pick up 2 pallets of concrete. It's about all I wanna tow with the 6.0 at one time. That's just under 8,000 pounds total. So we'll get those ready and staged for tomorrow, and then we gotta pick up some lumber. Or when we get it. We thought we had enough lumber for the forms for these sides of these stem walls. We don't. So looks like I'm going to Home Depot to grab some lumber as well. Alrighty, y'all, we are at RCP. We've already got the lumber in the bed of the 6.0. Let's get our 2 pallets. It should weigh about as much as the Mini X. It's probably a little bit less than the Mini X. So 6.0 should have no issues going up the grade. All right, we've got like a no tongue weight. It's all on the rear, but I can't push them too far forward, otherwise I won't be able to reach in with the Coyote and pick them off. So wish me luck on this drive with no tongue weight. It also just clicked. There's a chance the Coyote might not be able to lift a whole pallet of concrete. I don't know why that didn't even just register in my head. We're still gonna have to like put these onto another pallet. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed sometimes, guys. Uh-oh, y'all, we just lost power in the 6.0. We've got the wrench slide on, which means we're getting hot, even though we're not getting hot, and this is not a good place to pull over. This is why I don't like towing with my old Ford trucks, and I use the 450. Because we really can't pull over. Look where we're at. This is not a place to pull over. We're gonna have to keep going at 20 miles an hour. We're at probably the worst part of the grade, the longest part of the grade. Okay, we found a spot to pull over. I'm gonna let the turbos cool down a little bit, then we're gonna shut the truck off for a second, then we'll fire it back up, and hopefully everything goes back to normal and kind of gets out of the limp mode that it is in. Okay, let's see if we can fire her back up. Come on, old girl. All right. So far, no wrench slide up there. It does have the trailer brake controller fault, but again, that's because we unplugged the factory one and we just haven't made a dummy plug for that yet. All right, let's attempt to finish our trip up the grade. Once we're up there, it's all downhill. I thought like the no tongue weight was gonna be our issue, the truck getting warm, even though none of the gauges stay warm, I know. Well, y'all, luckily we made it. No more limp mode, truck is good. Unfortunately though, after having to run all around town this afternoon, the guys are pretty much done for the day by the time I got back. So they've just got their stakes all in place. Tomorrow we'll just slap all the boards in, and then we should be ready to go. We'll start mixing some concrete, getting these things poured, and make some good progress. I think tomorrow's gonna be much more progress than we made today. Well, we're starting off this morning with some good news. Put the charged up NOCO on the OBS, and within like a half a crank, this thing fired up. So I think if we had like this much more juice in that thing yesterday, this thing would have turned over and fired up. So she's running, getting all nice and warmed up. Unfortunately though, we are not going to be assembling the roof today because we've got a busy day ahead of us of getting the concrete poured. We've got the forms going in. Our stem walls are being built up pretty high right now because I didn't get the pad exactly where I wanted it to be because it's just so much more dirt to bring in. So once we get these poured, we will then come in and we'll fill the center into the height that we want. And then I think we're gonna do gravel for now and then eventually come back and do concrete. Reason being, this is more concrete than we're gonna mix by hand in here. I think it ends up being about 5 or 6 yards, plus if we do the approach. So it's basically, by the time we do the approach, we're at a full truck, which that's 9 yards, 9.5 yards. That's about 9 pallets. We're not gonna mix 9 pallets by hand. The reason I wanted to keep this gravel for a while though, is if I park anything that leaks oil, I don't want oil trails all over my concrete. However, the Coyote tractor doesn't leak oil, the excavator doesn't leak oil, and then the trailer obviously doesn't leak anything. So we'll probably eventually end up being concrete, and then maybe we do another carport with gravel for any of the trucks or anything that leak oil. Those get parked over here. Using 2x12s on the outside, there's gonna be another 2x12 that goes on the inside. There'll be a 6-inch concrete stem wall. So a stem wall is kind of what it sounds like, right? You've got a bigger footing down below, kind of like my drawing. So imagine the footing's gonna be bigger, and then coming up, we just have this little stem that comes up, and that's what the building is going to sit on. It's exactly the way garage foundation is built. The top of your stem walls are up here. Your garage concrete floor is down here, and then usually the garage is sloped out. So that way, if you have any water or anything in your garage, you have snow melting off your vehicle, if you're cleaning out your garage or whatever, the water all can drain out the door. So one of the main reasons you use a stem wall is because the stem wall is put in level, whereas your garage floor isn't. So if you were just to pour the entire thing as a flat slab and have that slope in it, your framing now has to account for that, and that's a pain in the butt. Nobody wants to do that. So instead, the concrete guys get to deal with it. So stem walls give a nice flat place for your framing to sit on, and then it gives a nice wall for if you're spraying off your garage, the water doesn't get into your framing, get up underneath your drywall. Now before the second form goes in, they're gonna be throwing in our rebar. We're gonna be using 2 number 4 bars on the bottom, that is 1/2-inch rebar. Every single video that I like drop a little fact on, we always get some guy that's, you know, been in the trade for 95 years and gets upset that I think some people don't know this stuff. But for those of you that don't know, rebar, if you ever go somewhere and you say, I want number 3 rebar, everything is in eighths, right? So number 3 is 3/8 rebar. Number 4 is 1/2-inch or 4/8 rebar. Number 5 is 5/8 rebar. We're gonna do 2 bars in the bottom and then we'll do 1 bar up top. While the guys are finishing up the last little bit of form work, we're going to start getting prepared to pour some concrete. I'm gonna try to use the Mini X to get the mixer somewhere up in the center there. That way we're not having to, number 1, go up that steep ramp into the area with wheelbarrows, and number 2, we don't have to go very far with the wheelbarrows. We always manage to pour concrete on super hot days. It just hit 90s and we're not even at noon. I thought we were hokey last time we moved this thing, but now we just got the chain wrapped around. Our rebar anchor, I should definitely put a big hook on this thing. Got that link on there, but that thing is so seized up, she is not coming undone. So hopefully that holds it on. We'll lower the thumb, which will keep this from backing off. As long as this stays, hopefully that takes up the tension. Because we also kind of got to yank it uphill to get it into the garage or the carport area. I just realized if this thing starts coming downhill, we'll just have to kind of mush the bucket into it to stop it. Because we got to go all downhill to get there. I guess we can go backwards. Maybe we'll go backwards. Now we're gonna get the bucket swapped out on the Coyote to the forks. We're gonna find out if she can actually lift that pallet of concrete. Last time we tried it, it was in the bed of Papa Rhino's truck and it was obviously way higher up off the ground. I didn't want to risk if this thing was gonna tip, it was gonna tip into Papa Rhino's truck bed. With the Diamond C, we're pretty low to the ground, so we'll give it a shot. We're probably gonna be, oh, are we underneath the other pallet too? Oh, there's this, oh my God, we got it. Barely. Woo! All right, we are clear. We are clear, 3,500 pounds. Now, can we get up this hill? Uphill works in our favor, downhill does not. Now this other one is further up. Now the good thing about a tractor versus skid steer is the arms reach out really far, which doesn't really work in your favor when you're creating a teeter-totter with carrying heavy stuff, but it does work in your favor when you gotta reach into a trailer like this. Shoot, we might not even have to drag it back. We just reach this all the way up in. Here's to hoping this is only 2 pallets. I'm very nervous about that because it's like an hour and a half, give or take, round trip. Got the donkeys hiding in the shade. We have now hit 95 degrees. We'll see if we hit 100 today. I feel like it's not a concrete pour day if we don't hit 100. Having water out here is very nice and convenient. And again, we left a tee right here. We might tee over and put another spigot right there on the carport. That way I can pressure wash stuff over there. Or I guess we could just run a hose from here to there, but we'll see. Get the old mixer fired up. I don't know where our strap is, so I found this. The Finger Snatcher 9000. You'd think by now we would have actually bought a new pull cord for this thing, but it's way more fun. Let's see, we got gas in her. She's got some. Alright. I don't know which way is off on the throttle. Fuel on, choke on, switch on. I think that's backwards. Let's try it this way. The old girl still got it. Let's see. One more shot here. If this thing starts in 2 pulls, it's going to be impressive. All right. So here's a hot tip if you guys don't want to manhandle 90-pound sacks all day long, which nobody really should want to do that. Normally we use a piece of like 3/8 rebar or something, but this stake should do. You put it under the bag, you take your knife. You don't want to cut through the backside, but you want to cut through both sides here and across the top. Sure, we're about the halfway mark. Slice through it. Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up, we normally do this on the ground, both sides, and then you use the stake or the piece of rebar to cut through it. And now we've got 2 half sacks, which are easier to dump in than trying to hold up a 90-pound sack and shake it in here. And then rinse and repeat 70 times. We'll do este lado, otro lado, and then the back is last. Oh. All right, you're good right there.
we just put a header in there for now, and we
Back and forth.
yeah, we could do that. All right, we're calling an audible. I knew yesterday we weren't gonna have enough. Papa Rhino was like, 2 yards, that ought to cover it. Yeah, we're not even gonna get close to covering it. So we've almost gone through an entire pallet, which is roughly a yard per pallet. And we've just gotten the footing filled up to the bottom of these 2x12s. Well, that's a 2x12 and a 2x6. We haven't even actually got this stem wall done. So what I think we're gonna do now is we're gonna just pour the bottoms all the way up to where the stem wall is. We'll pour all the footings, and then we're just gonna have to come back on Monday with 2 more pallets, and we'll top everything off. So basically do it like we're doing a block footing, where we pour the footings first with rebar sticking out of it, and then we build the block wall on top. Once we grout the block wall full of concrete, they are now locked together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just stab a bunch of pieces of rebar in that lower section, so then when we come back and we pour this top section, they're bonded together by that rebar. We'll get the Harbor Freight generator fired up. We're gonna use our electric hydraulic rebar cutter, and I'm just gonna cut a bunch of little dowels. Actually, it looks like it's low on hydraulic oil, so it's not letting it push all the way through. These things are lifesavers though if you're doing work with rebar. Alrighty, I don't typically do this, but let's cut to some real time. We're just gonna let this play out. And let me know if this format interests you guys a little bit, but a lot of people ask for longer videos, so I'm just gonna roll out real time. Ready, set, go. Hold on, how much? We got enough battery. Más, Abel. Más. 4 more. 4 more? Okay. Papi, ponle en la madera.
Esto, papi.
Arriba, arriba, arriba. Está. Papi, ponle en carretilla aquí. Un poquito más tiempo. Ok, sí, está bien. Más atrás, papi. Ahí está. See?
Ahí déjalo. Vete para que lo rompa por acá.
Should we mix it all or should we stop? How far we gotta go?
Well, my trouble is to the corner and back this way.
Well, that ain't much then.
Mix it all.
All right.
Still got 7 up there, right?
We're saving those for next time. Yep. Espérate, Ivo. That's a little coated. There we go.
Able? Ah, bueno. Able?
Easy, papi. Vamos a la cantina
Bien.
o la playa. Pero este fin de semana, ¿no playa? Tecari Beach. Yeah.
¿Cuánto más?
Dos más pallets.
¿Sí, da?
Sí. Mucha. 4 yardas.
Dos pallets es cuánto.
2 yardas. Come on, papi. Get the water mixed around. Más, Evo. Beep beep.
How many do you have left in there?
I don't know, probably 4.
4 more weeks?
Probably. Well, y'all, we were doing good and then the GoPro tapped out. It overheated. It's a little bit warm out here. Those 2 yards just barely got these footings full. Big mistake on our part right there. Again, I wish we were close to town because I had to bring trucks out here for this. We bring pumps out here for this because it's just so much cheaper in town. Granted, concrete right now is through the roof, but it's even more expensive bringing it out here. They tack on so much more extra money for the trip time and all that crap. Eventually, I would like to set up some material bins, kind of like you would see at like a material yard where they have a bin of gravel, a bin of sand, and a bin of Portland cement, or do we just keep sacks of Portland cement out here? And then we're not having to bring sacks of ready mixed concrete. We're mixing our own concrete on site. And it would be awesome if we can get a little bucket for the Coyote, or build a little bucket with a little funnel, and then we can just load bucket loads into Paparino's mixer. Now to clean the mixer, we'll put a bunch of water in there, and then we throw either broken block or rocks in there, and we let it just spin around for a while. And that gets the inside of that thing pretty spotless. Alrighty, let's shut her down. Not bad. I think we've been going for about 2 hours, give or take, a little bit less than that. 2 yards, mix like that, 2 hours. It was pretty decent. Not a bad day. Are you guys sick of me telling you how much I love having a tractor with forks out here? You probably are. So we're bringing the dumpster over, we're gonna throw all the empty bags in here, and then I'm finally gonna return the giant stack of pallets that I have over here at Rhino Block and Brick. Since we're going back with the trailer. I disconnected it for nothing, getting ready for an emergency 1 pallet load today, but we need 2 more. All in all, I don't remember how many I have out here, but we've got like $1,000 worth of pallets. So we should be able to, so we'll probably cover the cost of the concrete with returning some pallets. Easy does it, easy does it. Well, y'all, on a positive note, I don't know, there's really no positive note. We screwed up. But hey, we got the weekend. I'm gonna go grab 2 more pallets over the weekend. I guess maybe the positive note is if the truck breaks down on the weekend, bringing 2 more pallets out here, we got time to get it towed here where it's not like an emergency. I don't know, I'm just picking at scraps right there, trying to be positive. But you can see we jabbed in all of our rebar, so that'll tie the 2 pours in together. We then had to go through and we had to clean all the forms, because if there's dried concrete on these forms when we go to do our next pour, you're gonna see that. And being that these stem walls are gonna be up out of the ground, I want them to be as smoothish as possible. Obviously you're gonna see the wood texture from the forms in the concrete, but you don't want chunks missing, because there was chunks of concrete splattered on those forms that dried, and then we go to do our next pour and it just looks like crap. But I guess we're gonna have to wait till the next video. I thought we'd have the concrete all poured by this one, and the next one we'll be starting to put the building up. But hey, it is what it is, stuff happens. We just gotta keep moving. Next video, we'll get this poured. We'll probably start erecting the building. Then I talked to my good buddy Chris, who did the rain gutters on the guest house. He's got a lot of experience doing metal roofing and all that. So I figured, why screw this up when the roof's kind of an important part, and it's really the most important part of this whole thing. I'll let a guy that does metal roofing come out here and do that. So Chris is gonna come out and put the roofing on for me, so that should be pretty sweet. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now, that you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and get a thumbs up. And we're gonna check out workforapparel.com if you guys want one of these sweet work shirts, all kinds of stuff. Jerky, actually our jerky is almost sold out. So if you guys want our jerky, read the reviews. Our jerky is like, it's top tier stuff, man. We are super proud of the jerky. But we got hoodies, we got hats, we got decals, we got lanyards, key tags. Wait, actually we don't have lanyards in stock yet, but we're getting new lanyards in stock at some point in the next month or so. So workforapparel.com, you guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn.